Welcome everyone to Rekt Radio, episode 48. We've got the one and only Tradinglord on here.
Hello, guys.
Hey, welcome. And we're here with Mando. Unfortunately, our beloved keyboard monkey has a flight delay, so he's literally boarding a plane right now on a connection, so he's unable to make it today. No big loss, to be honest with you, but we're we're officially man down. I think Michael, you're muted, or I can't hear you.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're here now.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
No loss for KBM, man. Like, he'd just be bearish on this stream. I don't think we need that energy right now. We've got 3 bulls here, so I think that's a good place
This
to
is
be.
gonna be a dangerous show. Like, if you're coming to the
Even though
show,
we're
you're like,
Google Bulls, but pretty bullish.
exactly.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you very much for having me, guys. It's an absolute honor. I'm a big fan of both of you guys. You guys are doing very, very cool things. So yeah, as soon as you guys asked me to come on, there was no doubt in my mind to show face, and so now we're here.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks a lot for being here. It's going to be a good show. So, just quickly, I'll intro the sponsor and give a couple of bits and pieces on the show. So, as you guys know, the show is sponsored by Rollbit. So, be sure to check out rollbit.com for all your degenerate needs out there. We will have 2 codes to give away during the show. The first code is, I always forget the codes. First code is Trading 3573. Trading 3573 is the first code. We'll give the second code out at the end as well, and then as usual, we'll do the NFT loot box spin. I think we put in some of your project in there as well, Trading Lord. So it'll be a good little
Oh, no
gambling
way.
spin at the end.
That is cool. Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. And we live stream this show every week on Twitter, so make sure you're following Rekt Radio _ for all the latest updates. If you can't watch the show live, it's on YouTube. Just search Rekt Radio on YouTube. If you don't want to see our faces, just go on Spotify. Everything should be on there. And I think we're now on Instagram and TikTok. So if you
How many people do you have live streaming working for you guys simultaneously?
we have one guy, we have the incredible John who does it all now. So we have one mastermind behind it all.
A
Which is
man
pretty
needs a
sick to say.
raise. That's all I know.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we're out there, so please give us some love and support whenever you can. And that's it. That's all the boring stuff out of the way. So I don't know, where do we start? Let's start with this. Who is Tradinglord? Like, how did you get into crypto? Where do you start in the space? How do you end up where you are right now?
Well, it's been a while, to be honest. I got into crypto pretty randomly by a dude in high school who was wearing like a Donald Make America Great Again Donald Trump cap. So I was a little intrigued. And in an economics class, suddenly, we got into a discussion, and then later on, he just came up to me and he was like, "Yo, what do you think about Bitcoin?" And it was just by the time where I started my first little company, little drop shipping in 2016, before all the gurus could have fucking made gazillions selling courses, but got into the wrong industry. I can tell you that much. But so I had this discussion with this guy, and he obviously seemed extremely smart to me. And then he just asked me like, "Yeah, well, do you have Bitcoin exposure? What do you think about Bitcoin?" And I was like, "Yo, you can buy drugs with it on Silk Road, I suppose." And then he looked at me and he's like, "So you're not as smart as I thought." And that kind of, got me hurt a little. So I went home, did my research, and fell down the rabbit hole ever since. And yeah, stuck around through the bear markets. So 2017 was my first bear market. I was very, very young. Committed all the mistakes someone can commit, from getting properly rug pulled to just a gazillion liquidations. But yeah, by the end of 2020, I would say I was broke again. No, by the beginning of 2020, then the COVID thing, and then you just continuously get into these boom and bust cycles of fuck, I made it, to oops, I just found out another mistake, how I can lose $1 million. So and now 2023, we somehow secured somewhat enough knowledge to prevent us from going back to zero, but never say never. So we're still hanging around.
Wait, so is this your second or third crypto cycle?
I think third.
So you feel like you're like prepared for this one and learn from the mistakes of the other stuff, and like
Yeah. To be honest, yes. I was extremely bullish at the bottom, and that was the reason I founded Candy Collective, which now turned into Collective.io, which is the only project I properly run or associate myself to with all my heart. It's more just like an extension of my Discord community. I was just thinking of how you can find innovative ways to integrate NFTs with loyalty systems and then combine them and give people the opportunity to get the access to things that I get access to. I get all the pre-seed stuff. I get all the insider information, as you call it. Yeah, with the SEC. There's so much working.
He's got
love that.
spies in the SEC.
I'm in Dubai. I'm hanging around. I'm not American either. No, I'm joking. But
What's this
just felt
NFT?
let's change the topic. No, I just felt like there's a need to have, I would say, a crypto influencer, even though I don't like the term at all, that kind of generally tries to push down the value from the 0.1% who gets it all shoved up their ass, and trying to find ways to to get it to the normie guy. So what we're doing now is by holding the NFT, you get points, and these points you can redeem in our shop for whitelists, for free NFTs, for coins, for pre-seed investment stuff that you would usually not get. So I put my neck on the line. I take these safts, and I put part of the saft aside for the collective. So that's my boys who've been loyal to me, and girls who've been loyal to me for many years, can get a piece of the pie as well. So that's what I'm working on currently. I do advise a few projects, but I'm pretty picky when it comes to these things. What else? Yeah, I do still obviously trade, mostly with my own funds, but there's a few things in the pipeline to open up some bigger funds in the UAE. Yeah, and besides that, I just box as a side quest. I'm the WBC crypto champ as of now, and I hope that's going to stay that way. On the 24th November, there is the next title fight, and OSF is also on the card, so all the boys are winning. And yeah, that's a little intro of who I am and what I do.
Awesome.
So how did you?
Yeah, you go ahead.
There you go. I was just going to say, how did you get into how did you get into all the boxing stuff? Like, when did this all start? Because now you're kind of the headline act 2 years in a row on this boxing thing, right? So when did that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the GOAT rookie is a good friend of mine, and the last year when they asked me they didn't ask me to headline in the beginning, but then somehow things escalated a little because some of my friends took up serious bets against Ponzi traders' side, and then at that point, and those were all good friends, and they were just like, "Fuck you, my boy's gonna win." No, even though they were all friends, obviously, they were like, "I throw in 6 figures, no 100 bands here, shake my hands." Shook hands, and those guys, like, they didn't joke. So there was like multiple 6-figure bets on the line, and that was the moment I was looking my friends in the eye, and I'm like, okay, I really got to put in the work. And then it kind of just snowballed from there once the organizers understood, okay, these guys are likely putting a little more work in it than the other guys. So yeah, we just went all in on it, and then I think we did a pretty good job, Ponzi and myself. And yeah, from there on,
your sixth line on the undercard here. That's a solid showing.
I'm not the main attraction here for sure.
We're getting. I mean, every year you just rank up a couple. Climb up the ladder. Easy game. Next year you're going to be undercard for sure.
You guys had I watched your guys fight from last year. You guys had a decent fight because, I mean, some of the fights on this are pretty Pete guys are out of shape and they blow out after 1 round or 30 seconds. But you guys you went 4 rounds and it was like pretty intense. And I know it seems like both of you were training for like 6 months or so. Yeah, it was like a legit fight. It was pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, because there's also something I unfortunately have to tell you straight up. The moment you step in that ring, my brother, the adrenaline dump is going to take you off your socks. But so therefore, just breathe, take it easy. If you after the first round, I would say second and third should be easier. So just keep it easy in the first one. And if the other guy starts to swing, you just swing back, and then there's no way out of it.
You just got to go in and swing and just expect to get hit. I think that's what I say. So how do you feel against Crown? Like Crown's, because he's a pretty big dude, huh? Like
he's a big dude. I mean, I've seen him in real life, but I'm always say these, and my friends always laugh. I'm very much middle curve, right? I don't consider myself very, very smart. I'm not super dumb, but I'm just the guy in the middle who, after years and years of listening to very smart people, kind of starts to understand who got his shit figured out or not. But I'm also, one thing I am good at is understanding people, feeling the vibes, what's going on. And I can tell you straight up, Crown is an absolute kind guy, super, super nice. Nothing again. I don't know him personally. I've just seen him a couple times now with all the things.
Yeah.
I don't think he got the dog in him. I do got the dog in me. Yeah. So long story short, I am very, very confident in my abilities. So yeah, but it's going to be fun. I mean, I would love for him to surprise me and to absolutely fucking rock me. But yeah, I'm rather
He's
confident
big,
I'm going to.
man.
He's
He's
crazy
big.
big. He's crazy big.
You guys are like the same height, but I guess he's heavier.
Yeah,
But
He's
maybe you're gonna
much
have the speed.
heavier, and in theory, I think from here, in theory, I could go up even 2 kg more, so I don't need to cut at all.
Yeah.
And I think he has to cut a little. I'm not sure how much that's going to affect the overall fight. Obviously, there's no drug testing, so good on him for that.
Shots fired.
Nah, I told him straight up.
Oh,
I don't give.
he has a lot of hair on him. I'll give him that. Like
You know,
that guy's fucking big and
I asked for 2 things, but I just knew like I can't be bothered enough to like really push for it. I could ask if he could shave his shoulders because I don't want to clinch with a bear. And second of all, I asked if they can do drug tests, and they don't want to do it. And it's fine. Like if you've been doing steroids a year from now or 5 months from now, it's fine. It's very obvious. But lying to my face multiple times, saying no, I cannot do this because some other substances. We're not fucking yokels. Just it's fine, but don't lie to me. So that was the moment I knew, okay, I'm just going to take his head off because he's been lying multiple times into my face, and that's something I don't appreciate that much.
Man, I'm looking forward to watching that fight. I guess I'll be there live.
It feels like a
so-
Eubank
He was
versus
the
Ben
first
sort of
pro.
scenario.
Yeah.
You got like the Eubank versus Ben scenario in my eyes, like the pretty kind of well dressed, and then you've got this fucking steroid using animal. It's going to be a fun fight, I think.
Yeah, for sure. The good thing is Shuffle is going to announce, I think next week, that they're going to have proper odds.
Shit.
For the first time, because all the previous years liquidity was absolute ass, and I think this year, because he's got a very loyal community, so I'm sure I can take some shekels from their liquidity side of things.
Wow,
So
shit.
I'm heavily going to bet on myself, like literally all in. So
Yeah.
no financial advice on this. On this
Awesome.
trip.
Wow, man, that's going to be we're 24th of November, Crypto Fight Night 3. I think it's going to be streamed for
It's on.
free. But if anyone's in Dubai, definitely got to come and check it out. I think it's going to be a good one. I'll be on the card too. Not the main event, but I'll be on there.
Well,
Six
I mean,
lines down.
it
The arena at
doesn't
that
matter.
stage.
We're entering the same, bro. We're entering the same ring, the same stage. You're gonna feel the same because still you're maybe number 6, but there's already 4, 5, or 6 fights before
Yeah.
you, so the thing is gonna be packed. Don't you worry about it. You will have your time to shine, my friend.
Looking forward to it. But
So-
let's talk about markets. Let's talk about trading and markets. And
Sure.
I think I've been following your timeline for the past few weeks and months, I guess now. And you're definitely one of the more bullish people on the timeline. It's been a good call and a good trade, obviously, for the last few
Yeah.
weeks. But where do you see things here? Like we're at a point now where Bitcoin seems to have settled above, around or above 35K. ETH is kind of struggling to like break out above 1900. I saw your comments on ETH BTC and stuff, and we have our views on that as well. But what do you think is the lay of the land here right now, as we're about 73 days away from the final deadline for the Bitcoin approval?
I think it's less now. I think it's 65-ish or something. No,
Oh,
I
wow.
think
Okay,
Kantoshi did, or
yeah.
whatever. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is
Yeah.
around 65. What I think is most people do not have the skill to play this the way they want to play it. And I've been making the same mistakes a fucking gazillion times as well. So the facts are the following. The ETF is very, at this point, I think everyone who's kind of like listening behind the scenes and seeing the very, very smart ex-Wall Street lawyers and the guys who are like very much into all these ETF side of things or whatever, I think it is fairly clear at this point that we're going to have an ETF before Christmas, or let's say 10th of January, whatever it might be. So we have 65 days where out of the blue, the news will hit. And we've seen what happened with the fake Cointelegraph news, where we had a 4K candle in a matter of 15 minutes. The moment this is approved and the moment this is confirmed and the moment every single big Wall Street bank, doesn't matter if it's BlackRock ETF, BlackRock Fidelity or whatever the names is, once these guys start to really ramp up their marketing machines and tell all their guys that they need to really start, get the word out bit to bit, the first Bitcoin spot ETFs are out, I think people are still vastly underestimating the impact of it. So, and I'm not going to be like a stupid bull just saying, up. No, but I do think that it is fairly likely that we go much higher before or around, until Christmas, And then we're going to have, I would say, a month or two where we cool off a little into the halving. And then I would think we mimic more or less the previous halving price action, where we just, slowly but gradually just increase towards 6 figures Bitcoin.
It's interesting you say that. I feel like it's consensus that a lot of people think we will have some kind of like cooling off period, whether that's like the day after the headline, whether it's a couple of months after it. But people are expecting some kind of a pullback or some kind of a sell the news event or some kind of like receding in price action. But I think the mistake people make to that, and we're just going to, by the way, if anyone's listening to this show, there's going to be an ultra bullish show. I'm just saying it out there. There's no KBM to piss on our parade. So, but like you could, in my opinion, you could have something where it's like, yeah, you get the headline, Bitcoin itself can like jump 10-15%, and then the pullback is like 5 or 7%, but the level it pulls back to is still above where we are now. Like that's kind of
100%.
I personally view it. So it's just like,
keep in mind, just as a little note, the Binance DOG thing is still not out of the way, right? And I think, like, I don't know, like God wants it. I think, or I suspect, it's going to be very, very well timed in a sense of trying to take as many people out before we have, let's say, a little more of a smooth sailing, proper uptrend. Even though this one has been, fairly consistent with this consistent twop, just no barely any pullbacks. Everyone who's sidelined is fucking crying. The timeline overall, I don't feel like people are crazy bullish. I don't think people made a shit ton of money in the past 2-3 months. So I do think we have higher to go, especially with the way Ethereum is shaping up. I was texting Keyboard Monkey before the stream. I was like, bro, you know that Ethereum is literally going to have the $150 candle during the stream. And he was like, yeah, bro, we're going to be at 2100, but I have a fucking plane to catch or some shit. And I was like, bro, okay, so you're going to let me get liquidated on stream by myself. Nice. But yeah, no, I do generally think that over the next 2-3 weeks, Ethereum is seriously going to catch up. I have never, ever, no, maybe once. When I bought Ethereum at like $7 or $8, that was the last time I've seen that people were that bearish on Ethereum. Back then they were like, yeah, Vitalik Buterin is just dumping all his ICO coins or whatever it might be, like ridiculous stuff. And right now, people are generally getting angry at you if you say Ethereum is going to go to $10,000. 6 months ago, a year ago, the smartest people I've ever spoken to, everyone agrees. Yes, Ethereum is the generational play. If you really want to make generational wealth over the next 4 years, you put all your net worth in Ethereum. It's literally the easiest bet you can take. And now suddenly everyone is just going crazy saying Ethereum is the biggest shitcoin. And I understand that there's a point and there's a few things with Ethereum, with the development and the fragmentation of the liquidity, and there's a million layer 2s, and it's still fucking expensive to use it. I understand if I would probably come in as a young Tradinglord, 16 years old, $200 to my name. What am I going to, seriously, what am I going to do? I might go get one shitcoin with $150, make one swap. I can't swap 3 more times because I want to be broke. So I have to literally risk it all on one card, put all my $200 into one shitcoin and hope that's the one. So, but if I go over to Solana, if I go over to, in my opinion, also Injective, which is an interesting topic we can briefly talk about later, or other new up-and-coming layer 1s that actually also Monad, just a little side thing, also super interesting, just new layer 1s with with many transactions per second. These will be much cheaper and much easier to use for someone who has $500, $2,000 in crypto. So am I bearish on Ethereum? A little more than I was a year ago, I would say, just because the way things have shaped, or like the way things are kind of like heading right now in the direction, with just the core issues that somehow don't get fixed. We had a long bear market now where they could have really done some serious progress. And I'm a fucking middle curve yokel. I have no idea when it comes to the technicalities, but I'm just a little worried that after all these years, I think I've been owning Ethereum now for 7 years, and we're still having serious issues. Literally, how many more bull markets do we need? How much more time do we need? What is going on? So, and I've been speaking with a very prominent crypto figure. I'm not going to mention his name. And his words were, I sold all my Ethereum. The developers have lost the plot.
Wow.
And that is wild. And it is kind of true to an extent. So, of course, I'm bullish. Of course, Ethereum will remain the universal settlement layer for now. But, with the next wave and the next wave, if it continues to lose relevancy, and at one point, we've seen it previously, the Solana season, every L1 that got planted with, let's say, $50 million liquidity had their little season. It doesn't matter if they're called Avalanche or Near, all mumbo jumbo, all obviously going to zero because there was it was all fabricated attention, let's say, for a little period of time. But I'm just saying, like, at one point, if these core problems continue to be there, I would understand that Solana and other layer ones would take a bigger market share of the overall ecosystem.
It definitely seems to be a dominating theme, because I agree. Like I've only been in the space for about 2.5 years, but in the last 3 months, I've never seen that much FUD on Ethereum when it's literally been like, got like one of the greatest things in crypto ever for like most of the time I've been here. So there's been a lot of that, which kind of makes me feel like I want to fade it, because I think people maybe are more frustrated by price action. But
oh no, I'm full on max long Ethereum.
yeah, no, I hear you.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused by what you just said and what you your position. I'm like, oh, okay.
The thing is this: the problems that the technical problems that we're all facing. I can't tell I don't know the solution. No one, 99.99% of the people don't know the solution. What I am pretty certain of is Ethereum is still going to catch a bit. Ethereum is still the little darling of Wall Street and will act as let's say, a beta play on Bitcoin, and I'm very certain of that. But I'm just saying, me personally, as a core deep down crypto guy, I'm just kind of disappointed by the way things work right now, because after all these years,
it's just the nature of tech, really, right? Like, just something new will always come on, which is better than the last thing. Like Bitcoin, when it first came out, probably didn't see Ethereum coming, and there were questions about block size and let's say long-term supply, and then Ethereum came about, and now Ethereum's starting to maybe just some things in the architecture just seem a little bit dated now, or there may have been better ways to do it. And so the path forward for Ethereum is basically like, right, you can do all the new tech stuff, but on like an L2. So like we can do a Solana style L2 on Ethereum. Ethereum just becomes the settlement layer essentially, for kind of, let's say, the faster ways or different ways of doing things. I think that's probably the best thing for ETH, like to actually change some of the L1.
Is it easy enough for a baboon who just comes in? If he's in Solana, he's in Solana, and he's covered all the bases. He doesn't need to do any bridging. People are so afraid by these things, and I do understand them. If I have to bridge from mainnet to a layer 2, and then just to do, let's say, to buy one NFT which is on this L2, but then I want to provide liquidity on a different one, and I want to get some yield on a different, it is, unless they have like a proper universal, super easy to use bridge in between these things. And again, I'm not very, very, very techy, but I'm just saying, I feel the whole fragmentation of the whole Ethereum ecosystem right now is really, really hurting and kind of tough to understand for newcomers. So I do understand. And then if you ever, like, some of the friends I have, they are kind of like Solana native. These guys got into crypto during the crazy little Solana run, where they just all the NFTs did it times 100, crazy stuff. And then they bridged back to Ethereum. They were like, what the, like, this is just like going from a MacBook to an old computer. This is shit. Everything is expensive, slow, and it sucks. So it's tough at one point to kind of like defend Ethereum when I understand these guys' perception of things, because it is kind of true to an extent. But
one thing I would say about just to say about that though is like, and I'm someone who also has like noticed that Ethereum has got like quite big holes right now. I think the main thing is it outperformed so much during the kind of bear market, but then now it's sitting at $220 billion market cap, and like some of these other L1s, they got beaten up so badly in this bear market, right? They're down like 90, they were down 90, 95%, that just small changes in applications, small changes in, I don't know, things like you say, speed, like they can suddenly seem like, oh, well, this is just an easier chain to use. I would say that like, even with, if you look at Sol, right, like right now people are getting very bullish on it. It's got nowhere near the same amount of load that it did like last year. If you look at total number of addresses, TVL, number of transactions, they're all down about 50 to 75% this time last year. And yet the price is higher now than this time it was last year. And we saw a load of times over that period that, Solana would break, it would go down due to like various different. So we're not like, let's see how Solana performs when the TVL is up by 100%, when the number of transactions is up by 100%, number of users. Because if it does then start to go down again, and we see some of the issues that you saw before, it's not really solving anything. It's just solving for things when there's not many people using the chain, essentially. And that looks really good right now because no one's really doing that much. Applications haven't really gone crazy. Like they've all kind of slowed down. So they look good. But Solana, like, yeah, it's looking really good, but the price is higher, even though every single metric essentially is down by a very, very big amount. And I'm someone who's bullish on Solana, but that is a big, big blind spot for people who like it.
I think what you said, Tradinglord, about Ethereum still being one of like the darlings of Wall Street, whatever. I think that's an important point because like I agree with all the existing and outstanding tech limitations on ETH, but if you're most of us here are like here trying to trade the stuff or invest in stuff to make money, and I think the one thing that Ethereum has that nothing else has apart from Bitcoin right now is spot ETF applications, and there are 4 outstanding spot ETF applications on ETH. From one is Grayscale's conversion, one is ARC, which is Kathy Woods. That's the closest deadline as well for Bitcoin, and you have Invesco, Galaxy, and Van Eck. So all you need, for me, in my opinion, all you need for the ETH Bitcoin ratio to correct back up towards 0.06 is basically just one headline, which is BlackRock applies for spot ETH ETF. And that headline is basically 100% more likely than BlackRock applies for Solana ETF, whatever. And just I just think those things aren't to be faded. And suddenly when you get that, right, you get that headline, if BlackRock are investing, all these guys investing, then they're like, cool, let's fucking pump more money into this and like fix all these development issues, and then it becomes a different game, right? So I think that's just like a different angle that, at least that's how I'm looking at it. And maybe I'm just a bit of an Ethereum maxi, and that's the first thing that I started in the space and was going to have some sentimental value to it myself. But I think that's the thing that, and some people do talk about it, but I just think not enough people are like thinking about it or acting on it. And I think when you get that Bitcoin approval, the next thing people are going to be like, okay, when's the ETH one? And I think that day the Bitcoin one gets approval will be like the day when alts actually start to rally, rather than like Bitcoin getting more dominance. But that's just.
I was reading a tweet that was kind of interesting because I feel like at this point, new market participants, they kind of skip the Ethereum path in the sense of usually, you come into crypto because you heard about Bitcoin somehow, and then you're like, yo, there's more to it. Ethereum, there's, decentralized applications, crazy, interesting, blah, blah, blah. And then you get into these good old shitcoins. I feel like at this point, you get into crypto because, you saw a random ass flyer somewhere of some shitcoin, and then you not really go through like the rabbit hole in the sense of appreciating Bitcoin, understanding decentralization as a whole, and then wow, there's Ethereum, there's so many things you can do, and then you get to shitcoin. So I just feel like at this point, Ethereum is kind of skipped a little in this procedure. But yeah, nevertheless, I mean, the big boys are accumulating Ethereum, and as you said, the spot Ethereum ETF is then again just going to change the game completely. But I think we all have to agree, like, prices are going to go up ridiculously high into 2024. And it is. I kid you not. And I hang out with Rookie way too much, and this man is just. And we have to
hang out with Rookie.
Rookie
How
is
friends with you? You both like. You must just hate that group chat, right? KBM's so bearish. In any group chat that I'm in, KBM is so bearish, and he's in one with you and Rookie, where you're just talking about just big green cat.
It's ridiculous. I swear to God, there's like a possibility. I would say something now. For example, Injective. Injective is what? It rallied from, I think, like $3 to like $15 right now. And everyone's like, fuck, Injective, there is no stop, blah, blah, blah. This shit can be like $150 in March. 150, 10x from here. I kid you not. A couple $1 billion market cap, easy. And I'll tell you why. If Bitcoin goes to like 55K at Christmas or 10th of January, or I don't freaking care, and then suddenly, the whole ETF thing starts to happen as well with the Ethereum ETF thing, everything can happen so freaking fast, and we don't need that much influx into the market for us to really, really, really go crazy again. And if you think about it, some of these other layer ones like Avalanche, Near, and all these had, I don't know, 20, 30, $40 billion valuations. Ridiculous shit. I've been to the NearCon, and I think there's NearCon right now in Lisbon or whatever. I was at the one in Lisbon.
It's here I am. I live in Lisbon, so it's going on.
Oh, no way. I just moved out of Lisbon. Sick. Okay, I didn't know.
You moved out or you moved out?
No, I live in Dubai now, but I used to live in Lisbon.
Yeah, I live in Lisbon.
Wow, it's sick. No, but I'm just saying, like, I went there to NearCon, and it was still not like bull market, but it was still like they were still heavily funded. Ridiculous. The amount of shit that I've seen there, these guys had no idea what they're talking about. There was zero innovation. All they were doing was sweat coin, we walk for a coin, and it was all mumbo jumbo, it was all shit. And I'm just saying, like, we will have the same problems again. Like, there's zero chance. Human beings are not going to change. Like, the same crap is going to get giga pumped again, probably even worse, because now there's governments playing the game with us. We have people like Michael Saylor, and we're going to have many other little Michael Saylors joining him, doing the same playbook. So the buy pressure during this euphoria will just, in my opinion, become so ridiculous. And I've been speaking to a few people here in the Middle East as well. There is institutional buying going on right now, and also on a governmental level. Are these things public? No. Is it happening? 100%. And once the first, we have El Salvador here and some, made up country on the other side. It doesn't matter. These guys are like publicly saying, yeah, we own Bitcoin, we hold Bitcoin, we're bullish on it. And then you have little places like Lugano or Zug in Switzerland, where they're very, very clearly saying, you can pay your taxes with Bitcoin and all these things. But I am quite confident that after the ETF, and, it's just going to snowball into a proper, legitimized, huge industry. And then pension funds are going to come in. There's just, people underestimate how much freaking cash there is to throw 1 or 2% into a new asset class with a very, very, very valid narrative. And another thing that should make you giga bullish, gold is about to break out of a fucking 107-year-old fucking trend line. So if gold goes for new all-time highs, you better believe Bitcoin is going to take or act as the faster horse and take us pretty much higher. So you guys are not freaking bullish enough. I tell you right now. And election year 2024, Trump is going to come back, pump the stock markets. It's ridiculous, and it's too crazy.
I want to add one more metric to that, which is, you mentioned about asset managers allocating even like 1% of the portfolios. But just to put that into perspective for people, like BlackRock managed $9 trillion. And the total crypto market cap is what, $1.4 trillion or something. So
Berkshire Hathaway has like what, $300 billion cash? Like, it's all it's numbers on the screen. Exactly. It's mumbo jumbo. Okay, Grampy is not going to join us.
I think I read the other day that the total number of assets, including like real estate and even private assets, is something like 400 trillion. So 400 trillion versus a 1.3 trillion. You get a little taste. Look, I agree with you. What this is where I temper it slightly. I haven't really seen like a massive pickup in like number of addresses. This feels more like everyone, and I don't know, because you've obviously you saw a couple of cycles before this. I think we kind of slightly implicitly said this is going to be the third cycle. It's already begun, but like the previous two that you saw, this one feels more like everyone in crypto is like picking up on it early, and we haven't got the normie adoption yet. And we're still kind of waiting for that to happen, because you see like funding has gone very, very high in a bunch of vaults. You can tell people are just like piling into risk. And I still think there's some danger there. But yeah, I do agree with you that if the ETFs and if the halving does lead, and just like the general, the world's going to shit, gold's going to go high, Bitcoin will go high because of that as well. I think if you do start to see a number of addresses start to pick up meaningfully across the board, yeah, like you underestimate where alts go. I that's one thing I learned during the cycle we were in. It's just you should take profits on the way up, but you will 100%.
So ridiculously high. No,
I was looking at this Casper coin. I don't know if you've seen this one, like Casper. Same as Injective. It's been one of the like Casper, Injective, Solana, Chainlink have been the ones all moving. Because Casper's up like at 1,300%. I was like, oh, this might be a bit toppy. And then it just doubled. I was just like, this thing could just go like to whatever level you fucking want it.
If there's like from a trading head on perspective, if there's one thing I can tell new people in the space, please just avoid the red button at all costs. And I know you might think, no, but this is going to be a double top and here and there. Don't try to do it for now. We're too early. There's still going to be, and you've seen it with a couple of coins like TRB on Binance, where they say the cartel, this shit went from $1 to 125, and everyone is just like, what is going on? I'm going to short this. Obviously, it's up 30%, fifth consecutive day being up 30%. There's no proper news. It's a regular Chainlink competitor bullshit. What is going on? So some of these coins have such a small market cap that whales can generally just take you the fuck out over and over and over again. And again, if you understand macro, I mean, and it's funny because there's like two sides of the macro thing right now. I am in chats, as you said, like a little more keyboard monkey oriented, very rational, smart investors, and they're saying this, and this can still happen. Risk on assets can absolutely get fucked, and crypto will literally go back to, let's say, Bitcoin 20K, and there is merit to it. But if there's one thing I learned in previous cycles is the moment it looks the darkest, and the moment everyone who is somewhat new to investing in whatever thinks like, no, because I just read that the interest rates are still going to continue to be, when these guys start to kind of become the majority, and the fundamental crypto people are very certain that we've bottomed out because of all the metrics that do matter to us. There's a new all-time high in hash rate, for example, and I do agree with you, we need to see a pickup in new addresses. But for example, hash rate is going through the absolute motherfucking roof, and I tell you why. Here in the UAE, they put they bought, I think, $700 million from Antminer, and put the biggest mining operation in the UAE here for the Sheikh, who is accumulating 700,000, no, I'm joking, but who is accumulating serious amounts of coins per day and per hour and per week. And these are just off the market. So some of these bigger, very big people are extremely smart by just allocating in, without even like publicly buying, they just invest in hardware and just mine for themselves, right? And those are like the little things that a normal guy cannot know. Like, how would you know that some of the bigger governments are allocating a little towards crypto right now without telling anyone? And then, there's, as I mentioned before, the Michael Saylor playbook, where companies will take Bitcoin back on their balance sheet as well. Of course, you have to be a little crazy CEO to do it, but if you kind of understand that I think there's a chance that stocks are kind of like just gonna plateau a little, and just stagnate for a while, and crypto as the industry as a whole is just this new shiny thing that you can easily pump from 1 trillion to, let's say, I think if I had to put a guess on it, we're going to top at like between 6 and 8 trillion US dollars. And keep in mind, all of the altcoins that will get launched, they will just inflate the overall market cap substantially. But I do think that we will, we're very, very far from an overall macro crypto top when it comes to market cap. I think during the .com bubble, all the .com stocks combined were worth close to $1 trillion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was something like that, I think.
And keep in mind, like, what, 30 or 40% of all US dollar in circulation was printed in the past 2 years. And you're telling me such an interesting new sector with such innovation going on cannot, get to the multiples of what the .com techie stocks combined had as value. Come on, I think, I feel like we're smart enough to prop these rookie numbers up a little and get to at least 4, 5, 6, 7 trillion US dollars at the peak of the next bubble.
Yeah, I think people forget, like, even like last cycle, Doge got to an $80 billion market cap.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I remember looking at altcoins, like the idea of something having $1 billion market cap, whether it's like a meme coin or an altcoin, whatever, it was just like, yeah, there's tons of things that are like $1 billion market caps, and that we just like
at that point you look for stuff like under, let's say, 250, 300 million. Oh, it's a small cap, it's only $75 million. Right now, you invest in stuff like, I don't know, Unibot was what, $30 million a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago when they got hacked, or $20 million. That shit is going to go to $1 billion. I am so certain, so certain. So I do believe that we vastly underestimate how wild it's going to get once Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. So yeah, I don't know, but we shall see.
So we're all pre-rich, basically.
We're giga pre-rich, as they like to say. We're giga pre-rich, ridiculously pre-rich.
So in the time that you've been trading, what are some of like the mistakes that you think you've made, and how would you correct them? Like, I don't know, whether it's like big losses or selling stuff too early, whatever it is.
I mean, during my first cycle in the 17 one, we had 17, we had 21, and now we're 23. During the 17 one, I did make substantial amounts with shitcoins as usual, and then I put all my Bitcoin in one basket. It's a funny story. I've told it a few times, so my followers will know it. There was an exchange launching out of Estonia in Europe, a country called Mothership, and they were fully backed by the government with e-residency, and they're the new cool kids on the block. And it was the exact same time that Binance had their ICO, and I had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 128, 125 Bitcoin accumulated after like a year and a half of trading. So, and then again, Bitcoin went to 20K. So in theory, I was the G. I was fucking 20 years old, and I had $2 million on paper. Come on, not bad, right? So what does the golden boy do? The golden boy puts all his eggs in one basket. And it was funny, again, the Binance ICO and the Mothership ICO were I think maybe a week apart, and I could have participated in both. And I planned on putting 50 Bitcoin into one and 50 Bitcoin into the other. And then I was speaking to my dad, who was a Swiss banker, and he was like, brother, and he did say brother, he said, son, I would always go for the ones that are kind of like, tight with regulation. And it is already, this whole industry is pretty Wild West cowboy style. Take the Estonian ones and just, don't put all your Bitcoin in it, but, I would trust these guys more, because he did like a little traditional boomer background check on all the Binance dudes. And then, we just came to the conclusion, okay, we're not going to invest in the Binance ICO. We're going to invest 50 Bitcoin into Mothership. And then, it kind of like, it took a while. It took a month to launch, And at one point I was market making the coin on Cryptopia, because I was speaking to the CEO, and he was like, yeah, a couple more weeks and we're ready to launch. By the time, like 2-3 months after the initial, when I found the project, I put 125 Bitcoin in it, and 6 months later they kind of like declared that there was no exchange. So I, unfortunately, in mid 2018, I had to accept that I have to go back to university, and that my $2 million unfortunately are in a shitcoin. But I just want to say, like, these things happen every cycle to many people. So you have conviction in a coin, but you're very, very much biased. And at one point, you just fail to understand that other people who look at the project in the first place, they're like, yeah, I don't know, it looks okay, but you're just so obsessed with the idea that this is going to be the next Binance, in my case, that you're kind of like not understand that these guys, they were literally mega yokel team. They were like, probably if the three of us start an exchange today, we would do better than these guys. But I was just, first of all, of course, I was young as well, but I was just so obsessed with them somewhat reaching or working as good as Binance, and obviously they didn't. Damn. So first cycle lost 150 or 130 Bitcoin with just going all in on a coin that
Wait, so you were gonna put in basically almost $1 million into the Binance ICO.
Oh yeah, no, let's not talk about that.
And then your dad was like, nah,
it did 8,000 guys on Bitcoin against, it's ridiculous. But then again, I always say everything happens for a reason. If you give a 19-year-old dude 150 Bitcoin in a Binance ICO,
you might be dead by now.
7,000 Bitcoin 6 months later. It's ridiculous.
This Estonia thing. Did you hear about this guy? This guy who owns like the biggest bank in Estonia. Did you see the story yesterday? So they found out this guy who owns the biggest bank in Estonia owns $470 million of ETH, but he lost his keys. So he's this whale. You not see this?
Is this the CEO of that exchange? I'm gonna find that, dude.
Estonia ETH whale. Just type it in. LHV Bank has 470 million worth of Ethereum, but has lost his private key. He just owns like one of the biggest banks in Estonia and just lost 250,000 Ethereum.
Well, it's off the market, bullish as fuck. That's all
exactly.
Or it's just a massive psyop. Wow, that's wild. That's a pretty big.
And then I would say the next cycles, just classic leverage trades without having proper stop loss, without having proper risk management. I once woke up in Tulum on a beach, like in the hangover, and then I got back to the cabana, and I was like, okay, what is going on? Because all my friends were like, yo, did you have a stop loss? Did you have a stop loss? And I, go half naked with one eye open. I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, those were the days where the market at times, like Bitcoin just flushes 50% and alts minus 22, 25%. And I obviously had some longs open, got back to the cabana, and saw that like a 600K account is unfortunately not there anymore. So I would say my biggest setbacks over the past like 2-3 years have always been margin trading related, of me just being lazy. So that's something, when it's time to go, like for example, let's say the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, I am not advising anyone to do margin trading. It's a very, very, very high risks, financial vehicle. But when the time is right, and you kind of just, everyone always says, you have to obviously control your emotions and everything. But if you just have a playbook of you go very high leverage, let's say, and when I say very high, let's say times 10 leverage, and the whole times 50 times 100 leverage is bullshit. You get taken out with 1, 2, 3% moves. That's shit. But if you really want to get into margin trading during times of high volatility, and just where we really, really trend hard, like previous weeks, you can do it. And the thing is just, you have to trail your stop losses just very, very, very tightly, because the moment the momentum kind of fades, you will see these abrupt, crazy, just liquidity wicks where they just take out everyone who's over leveraged. But then again, myself, I've been on the Bybit leaderboard now for the past, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, the top 25 or something. So it is still something that I do when the time is right, but I am very, very, very certain that literally 99% of the people listening will do much, much, much better being early in an ecosystem, for example. It doesn't matter if it's going to be Injective or Monad or whatever it might be, because most of these will have their internal little shitcoin seasons. So if I had to give someone advice, for sleep, not to have too many sleepless nights, and to decrease the risk of waking up with being at zero, I would advise to kind of stay away from leverage. But it is still a way where I've seen multiple times people turn $2,000 to multiple millions in a matter of a year.
Seems like a good.
The market is slowly being sent as we on this show. By the way, it feels as though
it's getting sent
back about 1900.
We're back by 900. Bitcoin's heading towards 36K again. It just feels as though
but this is funny, because for the past 3 or 4 days, I've been heavily Ethereum long, and every time when I see Rookie or the boys, they're like, "Yo, bro, I was starting to send voice notes. I was like, "Yo, this piece of shit technology, if this is not going to start to send
sounds like our group chats, man. It's the same.
Bro, and I know for a fact, and that's also a mistake I've been doing all my life.
Euro, that's what I've decided.
But the candle, Ethereum is going to rip like $100 candle, right? I kid you not. So what usually, after holding for such a long period for the past, let's say, 5 days, waiting for this breakout, and bears kept on, taking that 1900 level down, taking it down. Now when it breaks, I think it will result in a serious candle. So Rookie was making fun of me. I was like, I have a pretty big position. I was like, I'm going to set my first TP at 1920. And he just looks at me and he's like, brother, for the past 6 days, you've been crying on my phone with a $6 million position, and now you want to fucking take profit at a 1.5% move? Yeah, you deserve to fucking get wrecked again. I was like, okay, fair. He's like, we're going to have $100 candle. And, when it's risk on, there's no one better than Rookie. And I've seen it now in the past 3 weeks again. This man just takes his foot through the gas. Fuck it. It's ridiculous. Either you have it or you don't, and this man just got the touch when it's risk on. So I trust him, and I took my TPs from 1920 away, put the first one at 1955. So at least we're making somewhat serious shekels after being after calling the suicide hotline for the past 3 days. So that's making it work.
Fingers crossed, man. We're all in the trade, so we're just out here hoping it happens, but it's frustrating. You feel like
the
it's
more
coming,
people they stop out, the better, right? I mean,
that's true.
Market makers need to catch as many people off guard as they can, and it has always been this way, and it will always be this way. Liquidity is king, so I think we're gonna rip a little higher than most people think.
Yeah,
it feels like one of those times though where the only time we really rally is when we do that little dip to take out all the levered longs, and then we just fucking send. And that's what I keep on noticing. It keeps on happening. Like we keep on dipping, and then we just send. We dip, take out all the levered longs, send. Feels like we had that yesterday, but then didn't really follow through. And then today, I guess we've had it a little bit the same. So yeah, maybe
I was sweating a little yesterday when it was dipping, and then you can just. And it sounds ridiculous, but I've been watching order books for, I don't know, 10 years now. And sometimes you can just sense, okay, the boys got my back. So I'm just saying, bro, the Bulls are in control, Rookie. We're good. And 10 minutes later, we go lower. Okay, wrong alarm. No, but seriously, I do think Bulls are in control right now, so we should be fine.
Good. Well, we're coming up towards the end of the time, so I just want to ask you a couple of the closing questions we usually have on the show, and then we'll do the last giveaway code, and we'll do the Rollbit spin as well. Someone won a Bored Ape last week, so
that's nuts. That is
pretty mental. Yeah, so definitely got some good prizes. Right. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, well, I'll ask you the closing question we ask all our guests, which is, and I know you've touched on some of this already, but what is your best advice on how to not get wrecked? How do you avoid getting wrecked in this market?
I mean, it obviously depends on your risk appetite. It obviously depends on who you are, what you. And people always ask me, like from 50-year-old people to 12-year-old guys hitting me up on Instagram saying, "Yo, I heard you're the crypto OG," and I'm just like, there is no generic answer to this. But what I can tell you is hustle and hard work and dedication will always pay off. It does not matter if you're a boxer, if you're a trader, or if you're the guy cleaning a toilet. It does not matter as long as you have a specific goal in mind and every day you do a little something to work towards that goal, you should be fine. And it's 100% reasonably and to apply it to crypto, because if you are if you're really broke right now, or you're super young, you're a student, whatever it might be, and you don't have the capital to somehow invest relevant sums into the industry, you still have time and you still have energy. And farming airdrops, for example, being in every Discord there is, of every new chain there is, will pay off extremely handsomely. So if you don't have the advantage of capital on your side right now, take your energy, take your intellectual capabilities. There is many ways to play this. And then again, just stay involved and work hard. And I'm very certain there will be a day where you look back at where you're right now and you'll be like, wish I just worked a little harder, wish I just stayed a little more committed during this crucial period of time in the crypto industry. And I think right now is that time. So stay relentless, my friends.
Awesome. That's great advice, I think. Well, look, man, thanks a lot for coming on. It's been a pleasure
Absolute
having you.
pleasure.
It's been a good show.
Thank you very much for
Looking
having
forward
me.
to hanging out in Dubai in a couple of weeks. But yeah, feel free to stick around. We're going to do these, give away the code and then do the loot box game, which is always fun. Rookie man.
Rookie just giga
So
bullet.
good. Peak rookie was like September 2021. Like, holy
Oh,
shit,
he
man.
was mental. The
Every
moment
day.
he whispered a chart or whatever, it just like the greenest dildo goes through the screen. And that shit is gonna come back. Rookie is gonna be an
Man,
extremely
like
relevant
that
player.
guy's my hero. That guy's my hero.
And in real life he's the best. He's the most genuine, kind guy I've met in a long time. So I root for him all the way.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, so second code to give away is 562 Lord. 562 Lord. And now we're going to do the Twitter picker to pick who is going to be ready for the loot box spins. Let's add this. Can we if you can,
I think
yeah,
Jonathan's doing it.
So we're changing a couple of things this week. We're going to have minimum number of followers, which is 50, minimum tweet count, which is 50. Hopefully that will get rid of some of the bots if anyone had any worries there. So let's run this. Oh, wait, I want to pick 5. Okay, that's rugged. Let me try that again.
Are you doing it? Not him.
I'm doing it just because we wanted to set the minimum thing. I need to pick.
Right.
Page. Let's try that again.
Yeah, you guys had crazy engagement on the tweet. So that's
yeah,
dude,
I mean,
we've given out like 500 grand of prizes in the last year. Like, it's insane. Like,
I mean,
it's really
Rollbit is really good. So,
somebody's paying for it.
funnily enough, I'm about to release a research paper on Rollbit. So,
oh no way.
Oh really?
Bullish. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I mean, mega bullish on Rollbit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't clip that, hey yo.
Top 25 RLB holder right here.
Here we go.
Ooh, are we going to get this to happen, or is it going to have to be request at dawn?
Here we go. No. Here we go. It's happening. All right. So don't request if we don't call out your name, because it just makes this whole thing much slower. If we do call out your name, please request. So Lickle Stefan, Bia Matthias, and Code NFT. And John, if you can make us co-host on the space as well, then we can see the requests.
Well, maybe you can do it.
Lickle Stefan, Bia Matthias, and Code NFT.
Is John there? This is a tough one.
Let's see if we can get him. I feel like
Oh, he said he
feels like
invited us.
we don't see the co-host. I don't see the co-host invite.
Maybe I'll leave. I'll leave and come back and see if I can do it.
Okay, cool. I thought we did really well to get through this whole show without any technical difficulties.
Right? I was very much impressed by all.
I know. Usually just fuck up straight away, and it was pretty.
Oh,
smooth,
bro! Half of the time on my streams, I don't even know where the fucking. I just bought a camera, so this is we're back. We're getting equipped now. No microphone yet, though. One step by step.
Does John want to let them up if we can't get this done?
Yeah, I guess so.
Says I'm a speaker.
Yeah.
Not a co-host yet.
I think you're. No, just you as a speaker.
Yeah.
He says there's only one request. So what do we do here? Let's see. Let's do a little profile search on these guys, and then we'll spin for them, and just make.
You think?
I don't know what else we can do. Okay, Lickle Stefan seems like a real person. 74 followers. Already follows me. Bia Matias.
Real person.
Joined October 2010. Probably real.
All right. Probably real. We'll give him.
Code NFT.
Code NFT seems like a good handle. That guy's probably real.
Yeah, he says his location is IPFS, so he's probably legit.
Love it. All right, we'll go for those three, and then we can contact them. Okay, so should I share my screen then? Okay. Here we go then. Oh, these prizes are getting wild. Oh, wow. So, one a Rekt guy, Gordon Gona, bought one today. Congratulations. Join the group. Let me just do that again. Why is that Hotel Shinjuku so expensive? Here we go.
Rare.
Number 2. Oh, want some RLB? Unclear how much that is. I think that's because something traded. We'll go again.
And then this spins for code NFT.
And an OSF edition. So a less aggressive week this week, but still
decent. Did not bring the good luck.
No, unfortunately not.
I'm never gonna he's bullish at the top. The winners get shitty prices.
I think they're saying we can do the spin again for the second person because that was a.
All right. All right. So we had 2 OSF editions and 1 winner so far. Let's see what this is going to be. Oh, they need to add me again. I think they're going to add some balance. So give me a minute.
They're about to credit you in a second. Yeah.
There we go. Oh,
another Rekt guy.
Right, 2 Rekt guys and a external NFT. So we got. I mean, this is decent. Rekt guy floors up as well. So about $5,000 worth of prizes there. That's another good haul. Not bull market enough though. We need to do this again. Like we need to have you on more, man. We need to call in Rookie and Tradinglord.
We call in. I take Rookie next time to my apartment, and then we run it together.
Definitely. I'm ready for the big bull market party in Dubai in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to it.
Oh, that's
all right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Tradinglord for coming on. And that wraps up
Thank you for having
another
me.
episode of Rekt Radio. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye bye.